All right. I think I'm live. Yes. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dora. I'm the organizer of this group. So, if you are new here, welcome. I do a live session once a week on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time to as a way to get in touch, to see how you're going, to answer any questions that you might have. And I usually go into a topic of the week or a theme of the week to give you a little bit of, I guess, a mini training or a mini coaching call on a specific topic. So today, I want to talk about the heartfelt desire because I feel like this is a theme that's been coming up it came up for a number of um, instances. And so I felt like this is something that I want to talk about, to bring attention to if you're not already familiar with what the heartfelt desire is. So, firstly, of course, this group is about stress, right? It's about how ways we can uh, manage stress, relieve stress, ways to live a more holistic and healthful life and create habits that are going to be beneficial for our personal goals or health goals and just our personal and spiritual growth in general. And so I think that a lot of the times I see people get stressed or feel overwhelmed or feel frustrated about situations in their lives. But when we start to look a little bit deeper and see, okay, so as an example, one might come in wishing that perhaps they were healthier, right? Or they wish that they had more time, or they wish somehow that their situation was different. And whatever situation that they're experiencing now is causing them stress. So they're not happy where they are, and there's a reason for that. And so, what we tend to do oftentimes is that we focus on what we think the problem is. So, whether it be I want to be healthier, or whether I want to find more time for myself, we're we kind of get into our thinking minds and think about, okay, practically what it is that I need to do to fix this problem. And it might be I'm going to start exercising, or it might be that I'm going to eat healthier, or it might be that I'm going to hire someone or to delegate tasks or find ways to work less or whatever it is. We're trying to find an external solution to our problem. Now, of course, this is needed because we do live in a world with material things, and we have um, things in life that we need to take care of, right? Our kids don't just disappear because we, want to have more time for ourselves. So there is that practical side of things that we need to take care of. Now, however, having said this, once you've solved the problem or whatever that was causing you stress, a lot of times, and I've experienced this myself, is that you actually find that you're still not satisfied even when you have fixed the problem. And then we kind of get into the cycle of continuing to try to figure out what is wrong, what do I need to do, what is the next thing I need to fix. Um, and you might start to run into this kind of cycle of trying to do something, fix something, and then you might achieve the outcome that you had planned for, but you're still not satisfied. And you continue to search and search and search, and you continue to do more and more and more. And each time you're still not feeling that satisfaction that you were seeking. So it could go this way, right? Or it can go the other way, is that you might commit yourself to certain things and you might do it for a little while, but you never, or you don't find that you can continue this habit or this goal that you've set yourself for yourself in the long term. It kind of runs out of steam and you kind of give up on it at some point before things come into fruition. Um, And then so I'm saying this is because sometimes a lot of our stress comes from us, the perception that we have around our situation. Okay. And so we may think that our problems are, A, B, and C, and we go ahead and try to find solutions for them. But especially in situations where you're finding yourself continue to do things but not feeling satisfied, then that might be a clue that perhaps instead of continuing for this search outward and trying to do things and fix things to change your situation, that perhaps you need to start turning your attention inward and start focusing on what are some of the deeper issues that are beneath that, the obvious problem or the problem that you think you're experiencing. Because when we do this work, oftentimes I find is that the the problem that you come in with is usually not the actual problem. It's a symptom of something that's much deeper. And so when we go ahead and start fixing and changing these external things, and sometimes it's needed, but when you're starting to see a pattern that you keep doing, but you're not actually getting the result that you want, or getting that satisfaction or contentment that you want, that usually tells us that perhaps we need to start turning inward and going a little bit deeper and finding what is underneath that, the most obvious problem that you are perceiving is causing stress in your life. And so when we do this work and we kind of go deeper and deeper and deeper, a lot of the times it's really interesting, but it stems from not actually knowing what our true heartfelt desires are. And what I mean by this is that I'm not talking about desires such as, oh, I want a new car, or I want to go on this holiday, I want to go on the shopping spree or whatever. We have these kinds of desires as well. They're not bad. It's there. It's okay. But if we really get down deep enough, we're going to find the desire we have for life. Or in other words, what do you live for? What is your life purpose? What is the driving force that wants to express itself through you? And so when we can tap into that and understand what it is that you truly desire in this life, we can start making more intentional actions. We can start setting more intentional goals and intentions to start to align our way of life closer to what our true heartfelt desire is. And when we do that, that's when you're going to find true contentment and fulfillment and satisfaction, because you're doing what you are meant to, or what you are here living life as the way that life is living through you. I mean, maybe I'm not explaining this well, but um, but yeah, so there's that driving force that's already within you, whether you're conscious of it or not. And so this is why it's important for us to do this work if you want to find true contentment, is because if you don't know what it is that you love, that's driving you in life, what happens is that we so easily fall into the conditioning or programming that we've been that we have been taught to fall into, right? We've all been conditioned to feel, to think, to behave, to have certain ideas and concepts. We have these conditionings ingrained into us from our parents, from our grandparents, from our peers, our friends, our society, from our educational system, like something much broader. But we have these conditionings, and these conditionings, because they are so ingrained, when we're not making a conscious effort to understand what we're doing, we just fall, like we kind of run on autopilot, and we just fall into these conditionings. So we will react a certain way when, a certain situation comes up. Or if a person says this to us, we've been conditioned to feel, a mixture of emotions. And we might respond or react in a certain way. And when we do this, oftentimes the conditionings that we carry, or that we fall into, a lot of the times actually go against our heartfelt desire. And so when we continue to live life sort of not being aware of the actions that we're taking and how it aligns with what we truly want, we can get further and further away from our heartfelt desire. And when we do this, what you'll find is eventually you'll get to a point where you feel, this feeling is going to get it's going to get stronger and stronger. The further you move away from your heartfelt desire, the more you're going to feel like something is not right. There's something missing. You don't really know what it is. And you're going to keep searching. You're going to yearn for whatever that's missing within you. And if we have not been taught how to come back to our heartfelt desire, oftentimes we're going to start searching and looking in all the wrong places, if you like. And so you're going to take a big detour, and you'll eventually come back closer to your heartfelt desire. But you may also continue to move away, and feel suffering, discontentment, unfulfillment, all of that, confusion, frustration, overwhelm. It can show up in that way. And so what I think is really important, especially if you're in a stage of your life where you may be a little bit confused, maybe you're not sure what is the right thing or wrong thing to do. Maybe you're in a period of transition in your life, and you're trying to make decisions, maybe for yourself or for your family. um, yeah, like I think it's really important to instead of continue to uh, get into this habit of trying to do and trying to fix things, and look for things outside of ourselves, that maybe it's time to just take a moment, pause, and just to get back in touch, and see how far you have gotten away from yourself, right? And so I love doing these check-ins every so often. I do it a few times a week, sometimes even daily, when during periods of uncertainty and I need to really ground myself. Because I think that we can easily get overwhelmed when we go through these periods of challenges, because they will come. Like, you might notice that they come in waves. Life comes in waves, right? Things are in this kind of natural oscillation. So there are going to be moments where you feel like, oh, things are calm, it feels good. And there'll be also moments where you're like, why is everything happening at once? And you might have a few things that seem unrelated, that or challenges that come up all around the same time, and sometimes it could feel like it's too much. And so especially during those moments where you're feeling like, gosh, it's really stressful, there are a number of things going on, I feel overwhelmed, I don't know what to do. Those are the times, especially, to come back, and be in touch with what it is that you need, what it is that you want, and what it is that's important to you in this moment. Remind yourself of your heartfelt desire, ground yourself, and from that place, you're going to find it much easier to handle your stress and any challenges that might come up. Now, so you might wonder, okay, how do we get in touch with our heartfelt desire if you don't have a practice already? Well, okay, let me sum it up in a few points. So firstly, again, it's about getting back in touch with our bodies, right? And we have a tendency to stay in our thinking minds a lot. and we have not really been taught how to get back in touch with our bodies. And sometimes it could just be as simple as just taking time out throughout the day to notice or tell yourself to say, "Hey, pause for a moment. What am I feeling? What am I feeling in this moment?" And that could be a great start to just having that practice of pausing and checking in with yourself. And the other thing is we want to learn to listen to our bodies, right? So once you kind of identify how you are feeling in the moment, so maybe go a little bit deeper and think about, okay, what are some of the body sensations that I'm feeling? So maybe in this moment, I'm feeling a little bit stressed. Okay, how do what messages are coming through in my body when I feel stressed? Do I feel like it's harder to breathe? Do I feel constriction in my chest? Do I feel constriction in my shoulders? Do I feel tension in any areas of my body? How am I feeling? What sensations are coming up? And kind of looking at it as a witness. And so you're kind of, in a way, giving yourself some space between what you're feeling, um, and be able to observe it with a bit of space in between. And that in itself can be very nourishing. And so you might notice that once you check in with yourself and you're feeling this stress and you're feeling these body sensations, that when you allow yourself to inquire into them, that oftentimes without you trying, a, a sense of peace or a sense of even just okayness starts to arise, and you're going to feel more grounded in that moment. And so the more we do this, the better we'll get at it. And it'll be easy and easy for you to feel into your body, to drop into your heart, and to ground yourself. And then, of course, if you are familiar with the meditation practice that I teach, the integrative restoration meditation, I talk a lot about something called the inner resource, which we can tap into, which is a inner peace within yourself that we all carry, that we all have. And we can, when we have a practice of touching into our inner resource, often we're doing many things in that moment. We're retraining the wiring in our brains, we're retraining our nervous system, and we're also increasing stress resiliency as we go. And I'll talk more about inner resource on another week. But these are a few things that you can start doing to just get back in touch with your body. And because we do need to be in touch for us to continue to do more inner work, and we can go on a really amazing journey if that's where you want to go. But we have to set the foundation first, and that is to reconnect the mind and body and start setting a practice for you to check in with yourself so that it becomes something that you can do relatively easily. Now, if you are interested in learning more about how we can get in touch with your heartfelt desire, I am doing a free 5-day challenge starting next week, where we're going to dig much deeper into perhaps some of the goals, or personal health goals or spiritual goals that perhaps you want for yourself. And we can dive deeper to see, okay, are these just really surface goals that you've set thinking this is what you need? What's underneath that? Is there a deeper desire? And we might, depending on how comfortable you are with this exploration, we might get down to the deeper reasons that you desire to make these goals and challenges. We want to make sure that you are setting goals and intentions for yourself that are coming from the right place. And what I mean by this is that when we're not aware of our heartfelt desire and we fall into our conditioning, one thing that commonly happens is that we can be driven by fear, insecurity, or that there's a sense of lack or scarcity. So those are driving forces for many people, that we're doing things because we feel like we should do it. If we don't do it, we're not a good enough mother, we're not, whatever it is, limiting beliefs that come up. So we're doing things based on fear a lot of the times. And this is also why it's And I'll explain why in my challenge that this doesn't work in the long term. And so, how can we start to understand where our the motivation is coming from when we do set intentions for ourselves, and how we can start to shift out of coming from a place of fear and into a place of love, of acceptance, of compassion. And so, anyway, so we're going to spend 5 days going through some of the, like I said, the goals and intentions that you may set for yourself, and understanding the deeper underlying desires that you might have, how we can start getting in touch with our heartfelt desire, and how we can then start to set meaningful intentions from this place of your heartfelt desire so that it can be long term and it's going to feel good, and you're going to feel that, you know, it's going to feel right in the body. So it's not like I should do this, it's that I want to do this. So I have put in the links, the link for the challenge in the description. So if you wanted to check it out, there's more information about this 5 day challenge, and you can also register with that link. And also, I have a free yoga meditation class that's coming up next week as well. So I've put in the link for that. Um, but yeah, so I'm excited to start the challenge. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them to me. But otherwise, I will be signing off now if there are no questions. And I will see you guys next week, same time on Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific. So have a great rest of the week, guys. Take care now.